I've had a lot of requests recently to put together a core strengthening training program, and that's a little bit difficult to do on a YouTube episode, but what I will do is today we're going to go over 20 core strengthening exercises. Core strengthening is extremely important, especially for the kiteboarder and those involved in water activities. Today I brought Brent Giddens, local music talent with the Brent Giddens Band, to be the novice to work out some of these core strengthening exercises. And today all we're going to be using is an exercise ball. So a $20 exercise ball to perform all these activities. I hope you enjoy this episode and that you find it beneficial for strength and longevity on the water. All right, let's get started with 20 core strengthening exercises, and you decide which ones you would like to add to your workout toolbox. Let's start with some more basic ones first. And again, thanks to Brent for allowing us to watch and perform these exercises for the first time and helping us to identify some things to pay attention to with the beginner. Number one is crunches. Simple first movement here. By using the ball under your feet to glide the movement, but you're not really resting a lot of weight on the ball to reach your upper and lower abdominals with movement. Make sure and connect your upper body movement with the rise of your torso off of the mat. Number two, the exercise ball sit-up. Again, here remember to link your upper body movement with your head and torso. Perform it in a full range of motion and try changing angles with upper body movement during the activity. Sky touchers, they are a similar movement here, but now instead of crunching forward, you are reaching for the sky and you're lifting your shoulder blades off of the ball with each movement. Number four is bridging on the ball with your hips up and parallel with your torso. At the beginning, use your arms as a balancer, progressing to where you're just using your elbows for balance and then folding your arms for less support. You can also make this more difficult by narrowing your feet, closing your eyes, and or walking the ball all the way out to your toes. Then you can also progress by adding hamstring curls into this exercise. Then you can do hamstring curls with a single leg, but remember to keep your hips elevated throughout this activity. Notice some shaking occurring commonly with activities that Brent is performing. His core muscles and stabilizers are being tested to respond, and they are under stress to try and stabilize. Remember from my first video, use the exercise as your test. If your form is improving and you are shaking less with exercises, you are progressing. Your core is getting stronger. Number six is figure eights. Make sure to keep your low back flat to the floor without any arching and to point your toes in the direction you are in the figure eight. Here I'm using my arms flat on the surface to increase my support, and here's an example where Brent is not pointing his toes with the figure eight movement, and that is limiting his movement with this activity. Number seven is ball exchanges. This crunching exercise requires that you meet in the middle for a ball exchange. Make sure that you are performing a full range of motion and touching your hands overhead with each movement, as well as your feet to the ground with each repetition. With my movements, you can see that hamstring tightness is an issue, as I'm unable to keep my legs straight at the exchange point. The ball rollout can be initiated from the knees and leaning forward, using your knees as the fulcrum point. Make sure to hold a neutral pelvis, belly button to spine. As you improve with this exercise, initiate it from your feet and control the movement of the ball as far as you're able to hold a neutral spine position. The difficulty of this exercise can be seen here, as Brent is having difficulty holding a neutral spine and all of his stabilizer muscles have the shakes. As you can see, he's spent a good amount of time in the weight room, but not much of a history in the focus of training his core. Today is his first attempt at most of these exercises, and for many of you, it's going to be the very same. This is why core strengthening is so important to implement in every workout. Number 9 is elbow digs. Try to maintain a shoulder width position with your feet and rotate to come up to an elbow, almost in a side plank position. Hold this position for a half a second to challenge shoulder stabilization before returning to the other side. Many of these exercises require practice and are coordination driven. Don't expect to perform them perfectly on day one. Make sure you are safe, that you are modifying them for your level, and recognize improvements. Ball walk-offs. Keep your hips up and about shoulder width as you attempt to walk laterally off of the ball in each direction without falling. This requires a lot of core control and muscle firing to keep your body on the ball. Failure on this exercise is when gravity wins. Number 11 is ball rolls. This exercise looks like very little is going on, but what you're doing is hugging the exercise ball and rotating to your outer limits without falling off of the ball. Try to keep both feet down on the ground with each rotation. Superman's on the exercise ball. Now in a prone, face down position, attempt to balance over the ball and perform a Superman movement of extension of your upper and lower extremity at the same time and attempt to maintain balance over the ball. This exercise is good for working your posterior extensor core muscles. You can modify this exercise by concentrating just on back extension, by stabilizing the ankles of your partner as they extend at the waist over the ball. To increase your range of motion, move the ball further down on your body before extending. Number 13 is a sit-up with a ball throw. Perform a sit-up with an exercise ball overhead. Make sure the ball touches the floor overhead, and then in a powerful movement, throw the ball on the way up during your sit-up. Hold a 45-degree angle, waiting to then catch the ball and return back to the floor to repeat again. A common mistake here is to lift your feet up when absorbing the momentum of the catch of the ball. Make sure to keep your feet planted on the floor. Number 14, sit up on exercise ball with medicine ball throw. Keep your hips up and use an exercise ball to perform a similar movement to the last exercise stated, but now it is more dynamic with a larger range of motion requiring more stabilization control. Change the angle of throwing the medicine ball with each throw. Still attempt to hold a 45-degree angle, and when catching the ball, remember to keep your feet planted on the floor. Number 15 is ball slaps and pushes, and I know this one looks ridiculous, but take an athletic posture, hold the exercise ball by hugging it and holding that position the best you can for 30 seconds. Your partner will tap, push, and slap the exercise ball from all angles until time has expired. To increase difficulty, close your eyes, but you probably won't have to. Your biceps will also thank you. Number 16, falls with single arm stabilization. This exercise requires a little bit of commitment and trust, but that's a normal approach for the progressing kiter. Lean forward and fall on the static exercise ball and catch yourself with a single hand placement on the ball. This exercise is great for quick core firing and responsive shoulder stabilization with your rotator cuff muscles. Remember to activate your core before performing the activity. Double ball roll-ins. This exercise just doubled your investment. Sorry, but it takes 2 exercise balls to perform this movement. Pull your elbows into your knees on each side and then simultaneously extend and separate the balls. Make sure and keep a neutral spine with your belly button to your spine cueing. Number 18, single leg mountain climbers. Position your legs on the exercise ball in a push-up position and then alternate your legs by bringing one knee to your chest while extending the other. Number 19, hip rotators on the exercise ball. Maintain the very same position, but now you are going to rotate the open leg under your body while keeping your upper body in a push-up position. Rotational core strength is important for development as well. And finally, number 20, kneeling on the ball, but with variations. Begin by attempting to just get comfortable kneeling on the ball with an erect posture. Flooring is a large variable here, as a slick wood floor is the most difficult surface to perform these activities. Using a mat will make it easier. Carpet, grass, and sand would be progressively easier for these activities. But once you become more comfortable with kneeling on the ball, add an outside force, such as catching and throwing a medicine ball while kneeling. Change the angle of throws, change the load to just catch and throw on one side. Always keep your body in a state of diversification with training stimuli. Don't get frustrated with difficult exercises. Modify them to a level where you can experience some success and then progress as warranted. Take a few of these and add them within your workouts and see if you don't start experiencing real gains in core stabilization strength. I hope these exercises were of some benefit. We will see you next time on the water. Reach out to Green Hat Kiteboarding for all your kiteboarding needs. Please comment, like, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and we'll see you next time on the OK Kiteboarder.